Haruto had spent the last few days in a state of confusion, weighed down by his feelings for both Aoi and Rina. After everything that had happened the festival, the misunderstandings, the silent distance between him and Aoi, he finally realized that he had been running from the truth for too long. But with that realization came another uncomfortable truth. He had waited too long to make a decision. Haruto knew, deep down, that he couldn't keep going back and forth between the two of them. His heart longed for something more than just being stuck in a confusing limbo. But even as he made this decision, he felt paralyzed. The moment he tried to reach out to Aoi, she withdrew further. The gap between them had widened, and Haruto wasn't sure how to bridge it. Aoi's silence was deafening. She had been avoiding him completely, giving him no opening, no opportunity to talk. Even the smallest attempts to start a conversation with her felt futile. Each time he tried to approach her, she turned away, her gaze cold, like she was protecting herself from being hurt again. Haruto hated the helplessness he felt. He had to make a choice. He knew it, but he couldn't bring himself to reach out to Ao. Every time he thought about her, about the years they'd spent together, it hurt. He wanted to go back to the way things were, but it seemed impossible now. Would it even matter if he told her how he felt? Would she still care? As Haruto struggled to understand his own heart, Rina, on the other hand, was becoming more determined. She had seen the way Haruto looked at Aoi. She had seen how he hesitated when it came to making a decision, and she knew that it wasn't just about the two of them. It was about his fear of losing something he'd already had for years. Rina couldn't help the way she felt about him. But she also knew that Haruto wasn't ready to fully accept his feelings for Aoi. He was caught in the uncertainty of what could have been, and she wasn't sure how much longer she could keep waiting. One afternoon, she found herself standing outside the school gates, waiting for Haruto. She had made up her mind. She wasn't going to wait in silence anymore. It was time to confront him, to ask him what his heart truly desired, and to stop pretending that she could keep standing by without knowing. When Haruto arrived, Rina pulled him aside. Her eyes were more serious than he had ever seen them, her usual warmth replaced with quiet determination. "Haruto," she began, her voice soft but resolute. "I can't keep pretending like I don't care about you. I've waited long enough for you to figure out your feelings, but I need to know where I stand. I won't keep waiting in the shadows while you decide what to do about Aoi," said Rina. Haruto looked at her, guilt rushing to the surface. "Rina, I don't know what to say. I care about you, but my heart." Rina shook her head, stopping him before he could finish. "I know you care about me, but I also know that you care about Ai. You've been avoiding the truth for too long, and I can't be part of that anymore. I can't keep standing here, waiting for you to choose when you're clearly still hung up on her." Her words hit Haruto harder than he had anticipated. It was true, he had been avoiding the truth. He had been too scared to confront his own feelings for Ao, and now Rina was giving him an ultimatum. He could feel the weight of the situation settling in. He had to make a choice. He had to stop holding on to the past and move forward. "I don't want to hurt you, Rina," Haruto said quietly. "But I can't pretend anymore. I need to be honest with myself." Rina nodded, her expression softening, though there was sadness in her eyes. "I understand," she whispered, "but I think it's time for me to let go. I can't keep waiting for something that's never going to happen." Meanwhile, Aoi's heart had been shattered from the inside out. She had watched from a distance as Haruto and Rina grew closer, unable to escape the painful reality that she had lost him. She had seen them together, laughing, talking, and sharing moments that she used to have with him. And in those moments, she had convinced herself that Haruto had already made his choice. The pain was unbearable. Every time she saw him with Rina, every time she saw the smile that she used to be the one to cause, it felt like a knife in her chest. But she couldn't bring herself to confront him. She couldn't bring herself to confess the truth, not when it seemed so clear that Haruto had moved on. One afternoon, Aoi made the decision to take matters into her own hands. She watched from the window of the school library as Haruto and Rina stood together, speaking quietly, sharing a soft smile. Aoi's stomach twisted, and her heart clenched painfully. She turned away, her eyes stinging with unshed tears. "I've lost him," she whispered to herself. The weight of the words crushed her. As Aoi walked away from the window, she realized that she couldn't keep torturing herself like this. Haruto had moved on, and even though the thought of him being with Rina pained her, she knew it was time to let go. Haruto spent the rest of the day in a state of unease. His conversation with Rina had stirred up a whirlwind of emotions that he wasn't sure how to process. He had told her the truth he couldn't keep living in limbo, unable to make a decision. But as he walked through the school grounds that afternoon, he felt a sinking feeling in his chest. The finality of Rina's words echoed in his mind, and he realized that he had already let things get out of hand. He had already let Aoi slip away from him. And now, with Rina stepping back, Haruto was left with the painful knowledge that he had been unable to act in time. He found himself standing under the cherry blossom tree, the same one where he and Aoi had shared so many memories. The petals swirled around him, falling gently like a soft rain. Haruto closed his eyes, feeling the weight of the moment. This tree had witnessed their happiness, their heartbreak, and now it was a reminder of everything he had lost. As the wind picked up, a single petal floated down to rest in his hand. Haruto closed his fist around it, his heart aching. He had been too scared to make a choice, and now, as he stood alone, he realized that he might have lost both of them. Back at home, Aoi sat alone in her room, her thoughts swirling. She had tried to deny it, tried to keep pretending that everything was fine, but she couldn't escape the truth anymore. Haruto had moved on. He had chosen Rina. And so, Aoi made a decision. She couldn't stay here, caught in the middle of a love triangle that had no resolution. She needed to move forward, to stop clinging to a past that no longer existed. That night, she texted Haruto one last message. "I think it's best if we stop pretending. You have your path, and I have mine." As she hit send, her heart shattered once again. But this time, she knew it was the right thing to do.